You fouled out, had 6, and it was a ticky-tack fouls, and again, Caitlin Clark doing a little bit of an acting job. Not sure if that was actually a foul, but again, that's for the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier.
The WNBA just dropped a bombshell that has Brittney Griner under intense pressure. After years of rumors and speculation, the league has officially announced mandatory gender testing for all players. The timing couldn't be worse for Griner, who is already facing heavy backlash for her recent controversial remarks about Caitlin Clark. This new policy could change everything. Is the WNBA's move toward mandatory gender testing a long overdue measure, or is it simply another attempt to stir up controversy in women's basketball?
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man. One of the videos that give us cause to say that is this video. It is from her Instagram stories from years and years ago. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a female chest, we have to take this down. Oftentimes, if breast cancer runs in a family, women will preemptively get like double mastectomies. And there's some great surgeons out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't see any scars on Brittney's chest that would be indicative of a double mastectomy or top surgery for gender transition.
Well, it looks like the chickens have finally come home to roost for Brittney Griner. Just as the uproar from that viral video, where she hurled derogatory remarks at Caitlin Clark, seemed to be fading, the WNBA has delivered a harsh dose of reality: mandatory gender testing for all players. And let me tell you, the timing of this announcement is either absolutely perfect or a complete disaster, depending on how you look at it. The league is trying to spin this as a routine policy update, but no one's falling for that. This has Griner written all over it, and she knows it. For years, there have been whispers, speculation, and direct questions about whether certain WNBA players are biologically female. The league has tiptoed around the issue like it's toxic, but now, it seems they can't avoid it any longer. The WNBA's official statement was as vague and sanitized as expected, citing the need to maintain competitive integrity and ensure fairness. But let's be real, this move is about something much bigger. The league is finally confronting what people have been openly questioning for years, that some things just don't add up with certain players.
About to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here, yes. 7/8/24.
Brittney Griner has been at the heart of these conversations ever since she entered the league. Her physical stature, voice, and overall appearance have sparked questions that mainstream sports media has long avoided. But now, with the WNBA implementing mandatory gender testing, those lingering questions are about to get some very revealing answers. According to reports, the policy will require every player to undergo extensive hormonal and chromosomal testing before each season. This goes far beyond a routine drug screening. It's a full biological assessment to confirm whether athletes meet the league's standards for female eligibility. The results will be evaluated by independent medical professionals, and any player who doesn't meet the criteria will be barred from competing. Unsurprisingly, critics in the media are already sounding the alarm, calling the policy discriminatory, invasive, and transphobic. But let's be clear, women's sports are meant for women. That's not a radical opinion. It's a biological fact. If someone can't verify that they are biologically female, they shouldn't be playing against women who are. The timing of this announcement is especially devastating for Griner, who's still dealing with the backlash. From that viral video where she appeared to use a racial slur against Caitlin Clark, that incident peeled back the curtain on Griner's true attitude toward the player who's been credited with bringing the WNBA back into the national spotlight. Now, she may be facing a much bigger challenge, the possibility that her entire career is on the line.
I saw this and was like, a lady mistake.
Let's be honest about what we're dealing with here. Brittney Griner stands at 6'9", has a voice deeper than Barry White's, and displays physical features that align more closely with male biology than female. These aren't personal attacks. They're observable facts that have been overlooked for far too long. Years ago, an Instagram video surfaced showing Griner shirtless, which only fueled the speculation. What's more telling is that Instagram's AI content detection system didn't flag the clip for inappropriate female nudity, suggesting even artificial intelligence couldn't categorize Griner as biologically female. When machines struggle to recognize your gender, it's probably time for people to start asking questions too. But perhaps the most glaring evidence lies in Griner's performance on the court. Compared to other WNBA players, her physical advantages, superior reach, strength, and athleticism are undeniable. These attributes have clearly contributed to her professional success, which many believe might not have been possible had she competed against biological males. Speculation about Griner's background has reached a tipping point. Some think she could be intersex, which would still offer notable biological advantages, while others suggest the possibility of ongoing hormone therapy that may provide an edge. Adding another layer to this complex situation is Griner's personal life and the way she presents socially and romantically. Her behavioral patterns have consistently aligned more with male tendencies than female ones. This has nothing to do with sexual orientation. Plenty of biological women are gay. The concern here is about core biological and behavioral characteristics that diverge from typical female development. The WNBA likely didn't come to this decision lightly. With increasing pressure from fans, players, and sponsors demanding fairness and transparency, the league was forced to act. It's already been battling credibility concerns, and questions about player eligibility were becoming impossible to avoid. The new policy arrives at a crucial moment when women's sports are seeing unprecedented growth, largely driven by genuine female stars like Caitlin Clark. Her rise has drawn millions of new fans who expect real, fair competition, and any doubts about that could unravel all the progress made. Watching how this policy unfolds will be incredibly telling. Players with nothing to hide will likely embrace the chance to silence their critics, while those with something to fear might respond with legal battles and media pushback. Lawsuits are already being threatened by advocacy groups claiming the testing violates privacy and discriminates against certain individuals. But those arguments lose ground when you consider the fundamental purpose of women's sports: fair competition among biological females. If someone can't meet that standard, they shouldn't be on the court. Mainstream media's coverage has, predictably, focused more on controversy and discrimination than the basic fairness issues at play. They seem more invested in defending certain narratives than preserving integrity in women's athletics. But the public isn't buying the spin. Social media is ablaze with support for the testing policy, and many are openly calling for Griner to undergo thorough scrutiny. Once again, the fans seem to be ahead of the institutions. This issue has been simmering for years, and now the WNBA is finally catching up. The international implications of this policy are also significant, as women's sports leagues across the globe are closely watching how the WNBA handles the situation. If this approach succeeds in upholding competitive integrity, it could become a blueprint for other organizations dealing with similar concerns. The Olympics and various international competitions have long struggled with gender eligibility questions, and the WNBA strategy might offer a clear path forward, one that protects female athletes while prioritizing fairness and transparency. For Brittney Griner specifically, this policy poses an existential threat to her career and legacy. If testing determines she doesn't meet the biological standards required for female competition, her entire record, championships, accolades, and statistics could come under scrutiny. The psychological weight on Griner must be immense. On top of facing public backlash for her remarks about Caitlin Clark, she's now confronting the possibility that her entire professional identity could be challenged. That pressure might help explain some of her recent controversial behavior and public comments. Other WNBA players are undoubtedly paying close attention. Most of them are biological females who've worked tirelessly to reach the top of their sport. If some of their peers have enjoyed unfair biological advantages, then those discrepancies deserve answers and accountability. The financial stakes are also high. If testing disqualifies certain high-profile athletes, the league could face lawsuits, sponsor withdrawals, and backlash from fans. But despite those risks, the long-term reward, restoring trust and ensuring fair competition, may outweigh the short-term turbulence. This policy also signals a shift in the WNBA's priorities. After years of being accused of placing politics above sport, the league is finally making a bold move in favor of competitive fairness. That might help rebuild credibility with fans who felt alienated in the past. However, how the league rolls out this policy will be critical. Move too fast, and they risk legal challenges. Move too slowly, and critics may claim they're giving certain players time to prepare or undermine the process. Ensuring the credibility of the independent medical review is also key. The WNBA must guarantee that testing is conducted by highly qualified, impartial professionals, as the entire legitimacy of this process hinges on transparency and scientific integrity. For fans, this step is long overdue. Women's basketball is filled with elite athletes who deserve to compete on a truly level playing field, without lingering doubts about their opponent's eligibility. If the WNBA sets this precedent effectively, it could reshape how gender is handled in sports leagues worldwide. The science behind the testing will be fascinating to follow. Today's medical technology can deliver incredibly detailed insights into biological sex, hormone levels, and genetic markers. The results should remove all speculation and ambiguity around player eligibility. Of course, the PR battle over this policy will be intense. Advocates on both sides will frame their narratives to suit their agendas. But in the end, the hard facts revealed by this testing will speak louder than any spin. For Brittney Griner, this may be the long-awaited moment of truth. The years of speculation, controversy, and questions could finally be resolved with objective, scientific evidence. The findings will either clear her name or expose issues that have remained buried for years. The WNBA's decision shows that even progressive sports leagues can no longer avoid the realities of biology. You can sidestep science temporarily, but in the end, competitive fairness takes precedence over political correctness. This controversy highlights the broader cultural debate over gender, sports, and fairness that's unfolding across society. The WNBA is simply one arena in a larger clash over whether biological realities should matter in competitive athletics. The results of this policy could ripple far beyond basketball, affecting schools, other sports leagues, and global athletic institutions. Brittney Griner now finds herself squarely in the spotlight, and the outcome could change everything we thought we knew about women's basketball. This is the accountability moment that's been years in the making. What do you think the tests will reveal? Drop your predictions in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more explosive sports coverage.